15 years building high finance for everyone. We invite you to discover the main corporate milestones that have defined these first 15 years of history, as well as the pillars and institutional strength on which we base our vision of becoming one of Peru's main financial groups. Our customers are the centre of our growth. Diviso serves mainly the established entrepreneur and the new successful Peruvian. Those Peruvians who have forged their family assets based on their own efforts, either by growing their businesses or by developing professional skills in other organisations. Today, this segment already represents most Peruvians. However, rural and urban Peru remains a pyramid with broad opportunities. This great structural change has given place to our portfolio of products and services composing a comprehensive strategy. Our clients access both financing solutions and investment alternatives. That is, they can make both their personal and corporate assets profitable and use loans that alternate with discounting invoices or structuring debt. This range of products has been built throughout our 15 years of history, managing to create value. We were founded in 2003. Financial and stock market advice services were offered to third parties, and the equity was capitalised with investments in the local stock exchange. In 2007, we fulfilled our first milestone by listing the company in the BVL. That same year, we consolidated a significant shareholding in BVL and Cavalli and began diversification and the acquisition of Credinca. Then, in 2008, the SBS authorises taking control of Credinca and Diviso Fondos starts operations. Subsequently, in 2010, Diviso Bolsa starts operations, and with that, the financial group is completed. Additionally, in line with our governance, we participate in the Corporate Governance Strengthening Programme, organised by the CAF and the BVL. The following year, in 2011, we were able to obtain public confidence through the execution of our first issuance and placement of debt through short-term instruments, ICP, placed on private offer. Likewise, Credinca was granted senior and subordinated financing lines. 2013 marks a significant milestone when the investment fund Danish Microfinance Partners, managed by My Invest Holding, acquires 10% of Credinca. That same year, Diviso acquires 10% of the Chilean Products Exchange. 1 year later, in 2014, Diviso acquires 73.82% of the shares of Financiera Nueva Visión, and again marks a significant milestone when the investment fund Action Gateway Fund acquires 10% of Credinca. In 2015, Diviso completed the acquisition of a stake in Edpime Alternativa, achieving 25% of its share capital. The same year in which Credinca and Nueva Visión merged, resulting in Financiera Credinca. Subsequently, in 2016, Diviso acquires 83.52% of Cacamarca, that merges with Financiera Credinca after SBS's authorization. The same year, the investment fund My Invest Financial Inclusion Fund II extends its Diviso shareholding and reached 18.5%, fulfilling another outstanding milestone. Recently, in 2017, Financiera Credinca made its first public issue of debt. Also, our investment funds that discount invoices, managed by Diviso Fondos, achieved a joint managed equity of about 70 million soles, while Diviso Bolsa positioned itself as an active player in the alternative securities market. This consistent trajectory is also reflected in our main growth indicators, which has allowed us to achieve around $1,000 million in assets under management, $115 million at the level of equity, 1,200 collaborators, about 130,000 customers, and more than 90 points of service in 15 regions. as well as our main credentials, acknowledgements of good corporate governance, our market cap level, the risk classifications of Diviso and Credinca, our significant participation in the capital stock of the Lima Stock Exchange and the Chilean Stock Exchange, and our high compliance standard being regulated and supervised by the SMV and the SBS. In these 15 years, our companies have achieved a strategic meshing to be the gateway to the high finance world. Financiera Credinca has almost 25 years of experience granting loans to micro and small businesses and encouraging savings for rural families. Currently, it has about 91 offices in 15 regions nationwide. Credinca carries the surpluses of the successful new Peruvians who invest in fixed-term deposits to the consolidated entrepreneurs of the rural and semi-urban areas of Peru. Their clients find in Credinca the support of an economic group that offers them more alternatives to make their assets profitable and access to financing alternatives that the other Diviso companies can offer them in a complementary way. Its financial indicators show a solid performance. The growth of its portfolio has been consistent. Diviso Fondos initiated operations in 2008 by launching its first investment fund, and in 2011 it received SMV's authorization to additionally manage mutual funds. Currently manages 4 public funds: investment funds, invoice discount in soles, invoice discount in dollars, mutual funds, extra conservative in soles, conservative in dollars. Its managed assets have grown, and today it reaches a total of 182 million soles. Its main growth focus are the investment funds called FIA, with which we serve medium-sized companies to find a short-term financing solution in invoices discount. On the other hand, the returns have attracted institutional investors who consider that the risk-return profile of these funds is adequate. Diviso Bolsa initiates operations in 2010, and in 2012 it receives authorization from the SMV to provide the portfolio management service. Currently provides services of stock brokering, corporate finance, wealth management, and has custody of 1,644 million soles. Since 2016, it has been strengthening its participation in the MAV through the services of debt structuring and placement aimed at medium-sized companies that have found a way to sophisticate their medium and long-term financing in better conditions and complementary to those offered by the banking sector. An important part of this dynamic is our client network, formed by the new successful Peruvians of medium and high equity, and by non-specialized institutions. These milestones and achievements have been possible with the strategic orientation of our leaders of wide experience and prestige. Likewise, the corporate support of our shareholders has been key to moving forward. Given our ownership structure that has evolved to be mostly corporate today, among which are highlighted Andean Equity Financial, My Invest Financial Inclusion Fund 2, Cooperativa de Ahorro y Crédito Pacífico. The generation of trust is also based on our sustainability that is supported in our governance system and corporate responsibility activities. From its inception, Diviso is committed to corporate governance. In 2008, we received our first recognition for compliance with the corporate governance principles by the Lima Stock Exchange, and then continuously from 2013 to 2016. In 2011, our case was laid out in the book Corporate Governance for Peruvian Market Companies, Good Practices Cases. Thanks to our participation in the Corporate Governance Programme developed by the Lima Stock Exchange and the CAF, our deployment of corporate social responsibility occurs through different lines of action such as financial education with our Rural Facilitators Programme, business management training in partnership with Elevate Business, the diffusion of products and services of financing and investment in our content site finanzasparatodos.pe. Additionally, we consider that we have a responsibility with our country's institutional framework. For this reason, we have collaborated with Transparencia, a civil association that works for the strengthening of democracy in Peru; Proetica, Peruvian chapter of Transparency International; development of the financial and capital markets. Through our incorporation into the Association of the Promotion of Responsible and Sustainable Investment, given our commitment to the practices of environmental, social and corporate governance, ESG. Likewise, we collaborate with the development of the institutional framework of the markets in which we operate through Procapitales, ASOMIF, Association of Microfinance Institutions of Peru; ASAB Peru, Association of Brokerage Companies of Peru; AAFM, Association of Mutual Fund Administrators of Peru; and Chamber of Commerce of Lima. Support to the community through our sponsorship of the NGO Pusimayo for its programme that offers daily breakfasts to children from vulnerable populations in Puno; our campaigns to collect aid in case of unexpected natural events in our areas of influence; environmental responsibility with our permanent campaign to inform our staff about the rational use of energy and water; women's participation in our companies, in which we have a total of 576 women workers who represent 48% of our staff, and 64,396 female clients that represent 47.96% of our total customers. Our vision of becoming one of Peru's main financial groups is challenging but fully achievable. We persevere in our purpose of carrying high finance for everyone, for that consolidated entrepreneur to whom we say, "You can do better," and for that successful new Peruvian to whom we say, "High finance has ceased to be for the few." They constitute great foundations for the pyramid we must take care of. There lies the true potential for growth, and with it, we can make our next corporate milestones a reality. Diviso, 15 years building high finance for everyone.